Hello there, and welcome back to my official return to this YouTube channel after 7 long years. Well, YouTube certainly changed a lot since I was on there. It's a whole new ball game. It's advertisement, it's algorithms, it's a whole other ball game. I've been thinking about how to come back on here, but the biggest changes I've had to do is I got a new 1080 HD webcam. It's a San Cisco. It has its built-in light, which I'm not currently using. But the fact of the matter is, I also wanted to have the best sound. So I got a Moano condenser mic, which is right here off screen. I'll bring it a little closer to you to see here. That's my mic. And of course, I'm going to be refining the sound a little bit more as I go along. But I decided in my own personal channel that what I wanted to really do was get back to basics. And that means starting out my new and improved YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, by doing an unboxing video that's music related. I started out with my then very minute vinyl collection on here 17 years ago, this coming fall. And today I'm going to start out by doing a CD box set unboxing. And that's going to be for Kool and the Gang, the albums, Volume 1, 1970 to 1978. I was so excited about getting this. I got this for a song just after the holidays, and it arrived just in time where I finally got my video equipment all synced up to work with it. So I'm going to unbox this with my trusty X-Acto knife. This is on the Etzel record label out of the UK. They're a pretty good reissue label. I have some things that I've gotten by them. And there you go. Now, I'm sure most of you know Kool and the Gang from their 1980s hits. But Kool and the Gang, as my friend Henry Hawkins will attest to. Hey, Henry, how's it going? This is a whole other ball game. This is serious, spiritually inclined jazz funk with collective vocals. There was no vocal lead, except some occasional things that were done. And here are all the albums that you're going to find in this set. Right back here. We start with their debut, simply entitled Kool and the Gang. And we start with their last album of the 70s called Everybody's Dancing. And this also has a remix album on it. Now I'm going to take each of these albums out and I'm going to show them to you. As you can see, it opens up in a nice kind of book-bound format. And they're in little vinyl cases. And here's the first album, Kool and the Gang. I have this on vinyl. Amazing record. During this period, James Brown said they were the second baddest out there. And that's the biggest compliment in funk you can ever have. To have the guy that got the party started saying that about your music. And what's really clever about Kool and the Gang, too, is that their second and third albums were live. Here's Live at the Sex Machine from 1971. And here's the back of that album. I have this next one on vinyl too. Live at PJ's. And that expands into a gatefold, just like the vinyl record does. These are vinyl replications of the albums, so that's why they kind of open up in some ways the way the vinyl does. The next album is Music is the Message. I always used to see the separate CD of this over at Borders Books and Music back in the day. And I always loved the fact that Kool and the Gang on ice. Literally cool, Now, these albums we're talking about here, this is hardcore 70s funk. You know, horns, wah wah, you know, electric piano, good times. This was the first full Kool and the Gang album I ever had on a CD. It got broken, my original copy, and this didn't have any big hits on the Funk Essentials Kool and the Gang album from the same situation, but I love it. They did a song about I remember John W. Coltrane on here. Shows you their roots in jazz, you know. And they were called the Jazzy Acts at this point. Well, not at that point, but they were called Jazzy Acts in the 60s. The next album, and this is the one that made them really famous, is Wild and Peaceful. This has got your funky stuff, this has got your Hollywood swinging, and the title song is just amazing on this. This is the epitome of early Kool and the Gang. There's the band on the back. Well, at least their heads. Some heads. Those guys in that group, brilliant. Brilliant players, brilliant conceptualists. They got a lot in their head to work with, you know. What? Light of Worlds. This has Rhyme Time People. Another great funk song about eating healthy on it called The Fruit Man, which I love. And it has one of Kool and the Gang's all-time big songs, Summer Madness. That one was so cool that Sylvester Stallone used it in the soundtrack for the first Rocky movie. That's how powerful Kool and the Gang were on a major level in the mid-70s. And I was just talking about this album today, Spirit of the Boogie. Now check out that cover art. I gotta show you the gatefold of this. This is incredible. Look at that. There's a poster for you right there. And there's a picture on this. I have this on vinyl, and I bought the original CD of this. Spirit of the Boogie, Ancestral Ceremony. They're getting into some space funk with some synthesizers, mixing it with their sound. This may be the epitome of early Kool and the Gang, you know, just on a musical level, on a purely musical level, right here. The next album, and a lot of acts, funk and otherwise, in the 70s had records like this. You know, Earth, Wind, and Fire had records like this. You know, it's part live, part studio. This is called Love and Understanding. The title song is one of my favorite Kool and the Gang songs, and they're getting into a period where they're trying to center more on a vocal sound, even if it's all collective. I love the studio half on this, and the live isn't that bad either, but they're transitioning into something very different on that after this. Something very different. Which will take us into the next album, which I also own on vinyl. Groove with the Genie. Open Sesame. This is a big transition with them. Speaking of movies, the title song of this got used in the movie Saturday Night Fever on that famous soundtrack. And on this album, they're kind of dealing with an Arabic theme. As you can see with the cover, there's the back of that album. And there's a gatefold. I mean, Kool and the Gang had Lakeside beat out for their cosplay thing to go with the theme of the album. I mean, they're flat out genies here. These guys had converted to Islam by then, so this had a deep meaning for them. This album, you know, had a little more orchestration, a little more nuance, getting a little more Earth, Wind, and Fire sounding. The band's starting to go through a change, and that would affect them until the end of their career. Now, the next album after this is The Force. And this came out in 1977. That was 76, those last two. And The Force, it's not a gatefold, but I have this on another CD with some bonus cuts, and I have this on vinyl too. This album has the title song and Slick Super Chick. It's kind of like Open Sesame. The only difference with this album is I think their commercial success was starting to kind of wane. They were going through some transitions in the band. A lot of bands were doing Star Wars inspired stuff this year. War had Galaxy, and you know, Space Funk was really big, and this kind of hit a lot more on that, but it wasn't their biggest success. Same goes for their next album, 1978, Everybody's Dancing. Now, the title song of this album might as well have been kind of Open Sesame Part 2. Great disco funk number. Again, didn't do too fantastic. Had another great song called Big Chief Funkin' on it. But after this, they were going to make a change. They were going to add a lead singer in James J.T. Taylor, and I'm sure you all know the rest. They got mega big after that. But they totally changed their sound with Ladies' Night. And there's a box set that goes with that period too. But I didn't get that box set because I already have all the Kool and the Gang albums from that period with J.T. Taylor. I don't need them. And here's something I really look forward to. 12-inch mixes of their songs and single edits from the early to mid-70s period. I have the 12-inch collection of their stuff from the 80s that's really fantastic. But this is on a whole other level. I can't wait to hear this. Plus, it's got a little handy-dandy booklet. It's got information on every album in here with track listings, who wrote them. So this is a really detailed box set we're talking about right here. A lot of good information. This isn't necessarily that cheap, but if you can get this for under $100, get it while it's in print, because this is your ultimate 70s Kool and the Gang thing. And I'm not making an advertisement here. I am serious. If you love Kool and the Gang, you really got to check this out. So, whatever's going on in 2023, from this point on, I hope you're all happy. I hope you're all healthy. I hope you enjoy yourself. And even though I've got a collection channel that I plan to be using again in the future, I'm going to be kind of going with, music and vinyl-oriented things to kind of get myself back in track here on YouTube again on my main channel. So I hope you all enjoy. Share this with your friends who like music, funk, Kool and the Gang, all of that. Share away. I'm doing this the old-fashioned way. No sponsors, no AdSense, none of that. This is old school YouTube here. And if you're a Kool and the Gang fan or a funk fan, catch us while you can. It's a great set. So from now on, till the next video, see you later. Glad to be back with you all. And peace.